Hello, friends, and welcome to part two of my testimony. How I became a Seventh-day Adventist. I pray that this testimony would be a blessing to you. And as you listen, I ask that you would also share it to someone. Before I go ahead and start, I want to again thank the Lord for letting this be in my heart, and I feel like I have to share it for some reasons. It's been going in my mind for a lot of times now. I cannot tell you how long, but it's been in my mind for so long. So I stopped where I said I was baptized in the Seventh-day Adventist Church by a friend who invited me, and I said for a while I was in the Seventh-day Adventist. I've been in the church for a while, and there are things I did not know. That's where I stopped. I said even though I was a Seventh-day Adventist, I was growing. Even though I was in the church, I was growing, but I was not growing. So what did I mean by that? So even though I was in the church, in the Seventh-day Adventist church, I was not really a Seventh-day Adventist in some points. And some people in the church, what I'm talking about right now is happening in their lives. And I hope that they watch this testimony and that they would make changes, because I was there. Since I came from a Baptist background, since I had a Baptist background and I was in the Seventh-day Adventist church, well, after receiving baptism, I did get Bible studies with me in Genesis, and they were talking about how you shouldn't be wearing, how could I say that, jewelry and stuff, but there are some deep things we didn't get the chance to get to. And I think somehow something happened and the Bible study stopped. And there I didn't have any Bible study. There was no more Bible study. And guess what? Only thing I knew was to just read my Bible as usual. Just read the Bible, but I couldn't really understand things. I didn't really know. All I could say, if anyone asked me about my faith, all I could say was I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. But really, I did not know. I didn't know the belief of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I didn't know myself what I believed in. I didn't know. I just knew that we respect the 10 Commandments, and that's it. And we worship on Saturday. We keep the law. That's all I knew. I didn't know there's so much amazing things, so many amazing things I didn't know. And so I remember being in the church, but I was still acting like a Baptist member, Protestant, Pentecostal, however you want to call it. Yeah, because I didn't have any knowledge really of the scriptures. And I remember the Lord did something, for me, because even though I graduated from, my profession, I was not working in the field. And there was somebody in the church, very great brother, very loving brother, very nice brother. And the Lord somehow the Lord sent him my way. And I remember sitting in the church one Sabbath after church, and he was just sitting in my back, and he was talking to me, and he gave me a ride home that day, and we shared numbers. And then That's the job that he does is the same, that job or the type of profession that I went to school for. And I didn't have any training. I didn't know, I didn't know anything. And then he took me. I worked for him in his company, and he trained me. And the thing about him is he was always, and still now, listening to prophecies. He was always listening to someone. He was always listening to Bible studies. He was always listening to preaching. He was so into that, even still now. And I was always kind of mad, because I'm like, does he think this is going to save him? That's how my heart was. That's what was going to be because all I knew at this time was just Jesus. Jesus will save you. Don't worry about anything else. Just once you have Jesus in your life, that's it. And that's not bad. That's not bad. Jesus will save you. That's not bad. But you need to know, friends, just accept Jesus Christ, and that's it. You don't know anything else. That's bad. If you are in that state in the Seventh-day Adventist Church as a Christian, if all you know is accept Jesus Christ and that's it, friends, that's not it all. That's not all, friends. That's not all. Friends, I was there. That's not all, friends. And so every time sometimes he would share with me, to make me listen to what he was listening to. I was not interested. Trust me, I was not interested in what he was listening to, because he was just listening to prophecies. He was just listening to end time events. He was just listening to things that are happening in the world. That was not my thing. All I knew was that my Bible, and I believe in Jesus. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. That's it. That's it. But friends, he was always, sometimes he would come and he would share things with me, saying this is what would be happening in the world. This is what would be happening. This is what prophecy says. But I was not interested. He could tell you I was not interested, because even though I was working with him, I had my headphones on. All I used to listen to was Protestant preachers, Baptist preachers, Pentecostal preachers. Seventh-day Adventist preachers was not my type of preachers. I did not want to listen to them. Friends, this is a great testimony. Believe me, some people in the Seventh-day Adventist church right now, they don't want to listen to prophecies. They don't want to listen to anything that has to do with end time events. All they want to listen to are the pastors that are doing miracles. Pastors that are Protestant pastors that are not even preaching the truth. Now, some of them preach certain things, but you know what I mean. I don't want to get to that. But if you are a Seventh-day Adventist, God called you to be in that church for a purpose. God called you to be in his church for a specific mission and a specific reason. How can you spend your time listening to voices that are not preaching to prepare you, preaching you the 300 messages or the 300 message? And so, friend, that did not interest me at all to listen to what my brother was listening to. I don't want to mention his name. And day after day, I would just watch people doing miracles on YouTube. I like that. I used to like that. Not right now, but I used to like that. I used to, watch a lot of Protestant preachers doing miracles, preaching from just one single text, and that's it. And they speak for like almost 2 hours they just read one text. Friends, I was in trouble. I didn't know I was in trouble. I would come to my house when I get married. I would come to my house. If you come to my house, all you'll just see a Protestant preacher on my TV screen. You would never see a Seventh-day Adventist preacher on my TV screen. You would have never seen a Seventh-day Adventist preaching, praising truth preacher on my screen, on my phone screen, or on my TV screen at my home, on my house. Because I didn't know, friends. And some of us in the Seventh-day Adventist church, we don't know. We don't want to listen to end time events. We don't want to know anything about whatsoever. We don't want to know anything about Ellen G. White. We don't want to know anything about spirit of prophecy. And we spend our times in other things that don't matter. Brothers and sisters, I had a hatred in my heart for prophecy, for people who, for people who were just, I had a hatred. I didn't know. And I remember I used to be in the Seventh-day Adventist church. And Friday night, I did not go to Seventh-day Adventist church meetings. I would go to a Baptist church for all-night prayer meeting or night prayer meeting. And I would just go there, yeah. And I remember I started to speak in tongue. Brothers and sisters, that's a huge testimony, I tell you. Even though I was a Seventh-day Adventist, I would be coming to my house and I would just be speaking in tongue. My wife would hear me, and she's a Seventh-day Adventist too. We are Seventh-day Adventists, and she would ask me, "What am I saying?" But then, as the man, as a husband, we should have known better. She listened to me and she would say, "What are you saying?" But I couldn't. I was like, "I'm just speaking in tongue." Seventh-day Adventist, praying. I didn't even know what I was saying. And I remember one day, a Seventh-day Adventist brother, I don't want to mention his name, very good brother. And what I love about his personality is he's not gonna sugarcoat anything. He's gonna tell you exactly as it is. If you do something wrong, he's gonna straighten you up. Whatever it is, I see his character, and that's him. And you got to be like that sometimes. And I remember one day I posted a video of me speaking in tongue or singing in tongue while listening to a song, and I started to speak in tongue, and I posted that video on my WhatsApp. And that brother saw the video, and he sent me a text, and he's like, "What is that? What are you doing? What is that?" And I get so mad. I got so mad at him. I was so mad. And I had an angry spirit. I was very mad. And I was like, "That's why you Seventh-day Adventists, there's nothing happening around us. People are sick, this, that." And that song that I was listening to I was like, "You guys, Seventh-day Adventists," and I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. And I was like, "That's why things are happening in around us, because we think with this, we think with that, because with this, because with that." Friends, I'm going to tell you something. Do you know not every Seventh-day Adventist church, not every single person you see in the church believe the truth? And I thank God for this testimony. I thank God because I went through that. Not every single person you see worshiping on the Sabbath truly even know what they believe. Or not every single person in the Seventh-day Adventist church are truly converted. Friends, I'm going to tell you something very soon. You'll hear that. Listen. And he was kind. He said sorry. Yeah, he even said sorry to me. He said sorry that he said that to me. He said sorry. But little did I know, that sorry he said to me. Sometimes, I understand what God said. Do not render evil for evil, but render good for evil. I know why. That sorry he said to me made me think. I was like, what if he's right? In my heart, I prayed after I got so mad. But the way he texted me made me realize that. The way he answered me made me realize that I was wrong. Sometimes, friends, not sometimes, but all the times, be kind to people that are not kind to you. Because you just never know how you can convince them, how you can bring them to Christ. Friends, I'm gonna say that to you and to myself. Do not render evil for evil. Because if Jesus was rendering evil for evil, we would never run to Jesus. We would never go to him. He's that story that he told me made me think again. And I prayed a prayer in my heart. The Lord answered the prayer. And soon after that, not long after that, maybe in less than a month, he could tell you. He's probably gonna watch this video. Unless he can comment and say, yes, that's true. And probably less than a month or more. And the Lord answered my prayer. The Lord sent, and I was asking God, please send me a Seventh-day Adventist preacher, someone I want to listen to. But first of all, I remember I used to go to a Seventh-day Adventist church, and there I used to even pray out loud in tongue. Yes, praying in tongue. People were around me, they didn't know what I was saying. I was just praying in tongue. In the house of God, the Seventh-day Adventist church. Friends, that's why it also matters that today you see certain things happening in the church. Before you go ahead and criticize people, please pray for them, because some of them just don't know. Some of them are just following leaders, or some of them are just following Pentecostal churches online. And what they see other churches are doing, they're bringing it in the house of God. So you have to pray for them. Doesn't mean you don't have to rebuke them, but you have to pray for them, because some people just don't know what they are doing. They don't know anything. They don't know what they're doing, and so the devil sometimes uses them to do what they do, because they don't know. Because knowledge is life. When you don't know something, some knowledge or evil, some knowledge or death, but some knowledge or life. Knowledge is something you need. When you don't have knowledge, you can do so many crazy things. Okay. So, and I remember that this pastor said something in his sermon. I don't have to mention his name nor the church. And he said, if you need an encounter with God, you need to spend 1 hour. At least 1 hour a week, 1 hour a day, or choose one day in a week and seek for God. And friends, I remember I chose to do that. And by the way, I just got married not too long ago. After while God was working on me to mold me and to make me the person that I am today in the Seventh-day Adventist church. It wasn't too long. And I chose that day. I remember I chose Friday, Sunday, one day, 1 hour. I did. And as I was, God started working on me, and I said, Lord, in my heart, I said, I want to listen. I want to listen to someone that's speaking, that's teaching the truth. That's not how I said it, but, and as I was on YouTube, the Lord, because I used to listen to sermons on YouTube. I said, Lord, send me a Seventh-day Adventist preacher. I want to listen to Seventh-day Adventist preacher. And the Lord sent me a preacher. His name is Skeete. I'm going to put his preacher here, Skeete. And as I started listening to Skeete, I remember the first sermon I ever listened to from Skeete was about speaking in tongue. He went scripture by scripture after scripture, to show how a lot of people are speaking in tongue today. They are doing it wrong. And he showed me how. And he shows in this sermon, how what speaking in tongue truly is. And I was amazed. From that day, I never opened my mouth to speak in tongue anymore. I said, Lord, that's it. That's the truth. Thank you. I felt like things were just going in my heart, in my life. Things were just going to change. Things were just changing. As long I just keep on listen. I'm like, man, the Seventh Adventist church, that's in the church. And I never knew these things. I keep listening. And I'm like, wow. Friends. And as I started keep on doing my 1 hour of prayer once a week, the Lord was going to do something else. The Lord was going to lead me to spirit of prophecy. Go yet. Stay right here. Don't go yet. Okay? Stay right here. That's when my life was going to change from acting like a Seventh-day Adventist, but not truly a Seventh-day Adventist.